So, hi everybody and welcome back. This is a C++ tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 72, and in this video we continue again with the using keyword, and this is the last use case which we are going to discuss here as a starter. It is the thing which you probably saw many times, but we used it not in our tutorial series. And what is that? Using namespace std. This one is a very commonly used line, and you see it's in the global scope. And then if you write this in the global scope, all things which starts with std you can get rid of. What I mean with that is std, for example, cout. We wrote all time this one, and then we printed here something out. We used all time std : but now we don't need, right? We don't need. And let's print this out. And you can see this was that what we all time used, or we used all time std string here in our case. And then we created, for example, my name, and is here coder. And you can see here's again this std, and here down on the way we have again one std, which is this cstd io library, and he got also an std, and you see this is all connected to this one. And when you are using now this line using namespace std, and std is just a standard library, and a library means it contains elements, and these elements are saved actually in this namespace. We have not talked about this namespace so much, but that's not very important. We are concentrating now us on this using keyword, and the using says now, okay, you are using this namespace, and this namespace name is std. But because you are using me, and I'm introducing this one now to this file here, you can get rid of this scope resolution operator and get rid of this std, because I know this string will be here, right? That's what this using is doing. So, and many beginners like this because they want to write very less, something like that. But here, interesting is the color is different here, the color is different here, and the color is different here, and that is also an indicator. So we have in this library many different things. For example, this one is more a non-primitive type. This one is just an output input stream, and here we have a function or something like that. You see, we have different things in this library, and let me show this library here online. When we go here to the web, we see in Wikipedia, for example, we have here this C++ standard library, and when I scroll down in this header files, we can see this standard library is big, has many things included here, all these things. And here you can see also we have our strings here, which is here, which we are going to use. And what it does is when you have included, for example, this string in our case, or this IO stream, this one here, which is theirs, or this std IO, which is this one, then you can just get rid of this scope resolution operator, which is this one, and you can get rid of the name, because I am introducing this now, and all time when this string is here, I will solve it for you. So std, you can get rid just of this one. So is this good or is this bad? That I said you already from the start of this tutorial, it is bad. And the reason why it's bad is it can cause name conflicts. And name conflict means, just let me make here another example. This is a random example. We will learn to create namespaces in the next tutorial or a little bit later. But right now, let's say we have here again a namespace, which is called std2, and I say I want to use this also this std2 using namespace std2 for now. Let's call it my created namespace. Makes more sense because I created this myself. And of course you create this one later. You will create this one. This is not created now. That's why it's complaining. Oops. So the next thing is what we are going to do is, okay, this namespace can contain the same string like this std. So then we have a problem. Why we have then a problem? Because the compiler will go here down to the main, it starts, and then it jumps to the first name and say, okay, I found a string. Now I jump to the introduction of std. I know std got a string. We should sort this here in this library. There is a string. Nice. Very nice. Anywhere. It was here anywhere. But the problem is the compiler will check my created namespace as well, and it will find there also a string. Perhaps I have included there also a string. Like here, I have just copied from here some to my, because I needed it to update this program. And now I want to use this. I want to use my own namespace. And the compiler will say, oh, wait a minute, which one I have to choose now? This one or this one? And that's the reason. And that's the reason why you should not use this word using namespace. If, for example, your code is updated later, after release, after 2 years, and they have introduced new functions, new libraries, new namespaces, and so on, this can cause exactly problems like that. And to avoid this from start, they say the best practice is just get rid of this names using namespace and just write exactly in front what you want to use. For example, if you want to use the string in my created namespace, then just write it here in front. My created namespace colon string, and now it's clear which string it is. It is not the standard library string. It will jump to this here, to this namespace, and will find there the string and will use this one. And the same goes with the cout. For example, the cout can be also here in, but this time I say I want that you use this std or not my created one. Then you write exactly in front std cout, and that's it. And that's absolutely clear and straightforward and very easy actually. That's why they say it is a bad practice to use that. It can cause big problems, and the best part is when you don't use it, then you don't have to check your code after you update it, all for these cases where you use this using namespace or whatever, because this costs also work. This is also work to check where you used it, if they conflict, and then professionals say, oh my god, I just avoid the whole the stress, whole the work, whole the checkup when I just write nothing and write it instantly at the beginning what I want to use directly. For example, I want to use here std. Now I don't care at all if there is a name conflict, because there will be no name conflict, and the reason for that is this one is absolutely clear specified where it will search and where it will find this string. And that said, I think I stop here with this using namespace std. But of course, what as a beginner, what you should know is, and you will see this many times, using namespace std will be used by many programmers because they don't care about conflicts at the start. Professionals will care much more, but many use this using namespace. They don't care about this kind of stuff what I talked. And then you will see many programs look like without this one. So, and the only thing as a beginner what you should realize is you should of course identify this one and say, okay, they're using this string has here no class resolution operator because they are using a namespace or using the name using string or something like that. So they get rid of this class resolution operator, which is, like I said, bad, and we will not make it. We will make it the professional way. We write it down, we write in front. We want Excel absolutely be sure what we are using, where we are using, when we are using, and we will not care later and check 1,000 times if we use there are using word, if we introduce there are namespace, if we whatever introduced a new file and we have overlapping files and so on and so on. This is a heck of a work later, and you can all avoid this by using this class resolution operator and saying just this one. Yeah, the beginners don't like this, but this is actually the better way later, and will save you a lot of work, a lot of headache. And that said, there is one more use case for the enum, the using keyword, but the problem is I can't demonstrate you this because I need here this C++ 2020 version. And I use here an IDE, Visual Studio 2019, which means this enum use case, it's not introduced in my IDE, so I can't use it anyway. But I can explain it to you here in a short. You have here an enum class, for example. You should understand this line now, because so far we learned it's just enum class, create a type, enum type fruit, and the fruit has the values orange and apple. And here they create again an enum class, this time an enum type color, and this color is red and orange. And you see already something strange here. And what is that? This orange is a fruit, we know this, and this orange is also a color, and this will cause a problem here. And here they show, okay, this is a function, we can ignore this. Function is similar to our int main. We will discuss functions soon, but not right now. And then they say, okay, we use now this using new keyword, using enum, and then, for example, I want to use this fruit. If you use it only here, they say that makes no problem, that is okay. Why that? Because the value orange and apple exists only one time, so no problem. But let's say this commented section is not commented, which means they're using also this using enum color, and then they say this will make an error because now it's not clear. Color orange and fruit orange conflicts, which means this fruit has this orange, can have this orange value, but this color can has also the orange value, right? And that's why they say, yeah, this is, for example, also a name conflict. What I tried to explain you before, that this using is a problematic word actually, and it is only a shortcut, more or less. And to avoid this again, don't use this using enum fruit. Make the long way, and the long way was all time. Just write, for example, here fruit the normal way. Let me show you the normal way at least, because the normal way I can show you here. Let's say we have here on top in our global, oops, let's go here, copy this one, and here paste here in our global space. Global space means global scope, but it's not local like here. We have now this toEnumeration class, and here in my main I want to use them, and the normal use case is to write again fruit and then a variable name for fruit, my fruit, for example, fruit, and then you assign it, for example, a default value. And let's write here, for example, orange. But you can't write now orange like this. This will cause an error. Now just write the scope resolution operator, and there is no problem. because we know exactly what we want. For example, fruit, and this orange, it's perfect, no problem. And here you can do the same for color type, my color, and here you write exactly again which color orange you want, the color orange. And you see with this version there is again no problem, because this resolution operator, this colon, say I will try to find this orange which you have here in Fruit. I go in Fruit and check this one out. So this one is connected now with this. And here in the second place, this resolution operator says I will find this orange in color. I will try to find it in color, because you said this orange should be in color, and then it will try to get you this color orange here. And yes, and what I want to point out is here is this class, this resolution operator here. It's very, very, very important soon when we talk about classes, about functions, about structs, and so on. And you see, this is also the starting point where it becomes really important with this enum types is also interesting. So I think we talk much about this using keyword, and a recap would be just forget it. I mean, this is the shortest recap I can make, because using is in general bad. Instead use all time the class resolution operator, and you are on the safe side, on the best side. But even if it's bad, we have to learn it, because many are using this word, and when they are using it, then you have to be aware of it, what they mean, right? So for example, if you read a code here, anything like that, and they are using the word using, you must still understand it, even if we are not using it, right? As because we want make it better and so on. What I have here, yeah, there are some other things too, but they are too complicated. I want not show you because they are more confusing you than helping you, and that's why. Whatever. Anyway, important is just when you see this using, think about it about a bad practice, and they want make a shortcut, which means they want get rid of I don't know, for this name here, this fruit orange, this class resolution operator. Most times they want get rid of this one, and this one type less instead of typing all. And that's so a thumb rule. And yeah, that said, we have to practice this still a lot, because many coders and many programmers use this, even if it's bad, so that we realize it and understand it. But our own, in this tutorial series, it's better we learn it the professional way. And the professional way is definitely use this class resolution operator, because this one will help you later if you work on a real project, that there are not much conflicts. That's very important. And that means if there are not many conflicts, less stress, less rework, less checks, less work at all, and more free time for you. That's very important. And that's why I said at the start from beginning, we are not using any word with using namespace std, no. Using string, no. Using enum, no. We don't use anything. We use all time, but what we use all time is this class resolution operator. Yes, this one we use all time to make it absolute clear, to make it absolute not interchangeable, so it makes later you can't say this was this or this was this. No, the compiler will say I know exactly what you mean, and I will take it. So with that said, I stop here. Of course, read this in theory. This is just a practical use. It's not absolute accurate what I told you here. What I mean with that is in theory they explain all in detail what well, there are many variations. This is just a little bit what I showed you here. There are so many variations, but just be aware that this one exists. Read a little bit also in this C++ books, and yeah. And if you have any questions, ask in the comments, and I stop the video here, and good luck and bye.